Hey everybody, hope you're having a great day. We have another question from a friend on the internet here. He wants me to give him my take on the anxiety that he's been experiencing lately. And I will get to that in just a second, but first I want to point out that yes, this is a new gym. I have moved yet again, and it's kind of a mess, so please forgive me. I don't really like the color. It'll come together, is what I'm trying to say. But even though it's a mess in here, and even though it is currently 39 degrees in here, I think it's about 26 outside, the grass is frozen, we're still out here exercising. We're still out here filming videos because it's a new year, right? And I took a large part of 2020 off of the business. I took a large part off of making videos. A lot of things changed for me. I'm sure they did for you, but I'm a strength coach. I lost all of my strength coaching contracts when the schools closed and the gyms closed and I wasn't allowed to train clients anymore. So 2020 was a huge mix-up, right? I got another part-time job, covered some of the bills, and I fasted from work. I fasted from weightlifting for the most part, and I feel refreshed. I feel healthy. I feel lean. I dropped almost 20 pounds. I dropped 3 percentage points in body fat. I ran a lot, and it's time to get started on things again. So we're back, baby. We're back. Even though it's cold, we're keeping our priorities straight, and I want to remind you guys to do the same because this will tie into the question I'm going to answer in this video. You have to keep your priorities straight. You got to make sure every day, or at least every week, or a couple times a week, you're doing something to manage your finances, your family, your mental health, and your physical health. All right? Because if you neglect those things, they will catch up with you. And they will do it quickly. All right? If your health starts failing, if you start getting mental illness, right? Depression, anxiety, we're going to be talking about that. If you start going into debt and losing money, losing your possessions, and if your family falls apart, all of those things are interconnected. Right? And if you want to work on self-development, if you want to improve yourself and make yourself better and stronger, you have to address those 4 core issues. So anyways, the question. Our friend here on the internet says, Coach Andrew, I get all locked up when I have to do difficult things. If I'm sitting at home and not working, I find that my body gets tense, right? So he gets all locked up, right? He'll sit on the couch. He knows what he needs to do. He gets excited about what he needs to do, right? The potential that he sees in his mind of who he could be, what he could become, what his life could look like, lights a fire. There's a fire in there. He's ready to go, but he can't. He can't because he's all locked up. And he says when he's at work, if he has to deal with coworkers or confrontation, he chokes up. He knows exactly what he needs to say. He knows exactly how he wants to say it. And he's not worried about offending people. He's not scared of conflict. He's pretty extroverted, he says, but he locks up and he feels this tense anxiety all the time. So what should he do about it? Well, here's my take. I'm going to give you what I think is going to be the most useful take for you because there's 100 ways you can approach these kinds of things. You could go to a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and you could sit there and they'll tell you about neurotransmitters. They'll tell you about medications. They'll tell you about cognitive behavioral therapy. They'll talk to you about trauma and, all those things, which can be very, very productive. Those can be life-changing discussions, truly, as someone who has had a therapist and a psychologist and a psychiatrist at one point. Very helpful things. However, given that you are a highly motivated individual and you do have a picture of yourself and your desired reality. You know what you should be doing. You know what you want to be doing. You're extroverted. Sounds like you're a hard worker. You have goals. Given all of those things, I don't think you have a problem with neurotransmitters. I don't think you need medication. You may have some trauma. I don't know. Do you? But I don't think that's going to be the source of your problem here. I think that since you lock up when you're trying to talk to people at work, and since you lock up when you're at home, particularly when you're sitting still and not moving around and doing things, when you know you want to be doing things, I think you've just got a lot of stuff stuck in your body, right? I'm going to tell you something that's not particularly grounded in any science or data or research, and if that turns you off, so be it. But this is advice that changed my life from some of my mentors, and I'm going to pass it on to you, right? Because what us men do, right, what we evolved to do is to create. Now, women, on the other hand, being that they are so similar to us and yet so different, they don't have to worry about creation. They don't have to worry about doing, right? Most of them, right? I'm going to generalize here, and there's a lot of women who are not going to agree with what I'm saying. There's a lot of men who are going to be like, hey, you can't say that, and that's fine. You guys have you have it your way, right? But women are born with the power to create. They have babies. They create life. Every single thing that any man has ever done throughout the timeline, the historical timeline of humanity, all of our great achievements, our inventions, the empires we've made, the empires we've destroyed, it's all because of women. They gave birth to us. They breastfed us. They raised us. They loved us. They supported us. Women don't have to worry about their legacy because every single person walking around with a heartbeat, that's their legacy. Men, on the other hand, not speaking literally, really, our legacy is our ideas. Our legacy is the things that we do in the physical world, right? And when you're not doing the things that you feel compelled to do, you are neglecting your duty. You are neglecting the job that nature has given you. And look, it's not your fault, all right? We've been conditioned this way. This is the society we live in, right? Boys are supposed to be moving around. We're supposed to be building things. We're supposed to be exploring. We're supposed to be curious, taking risks, doing all of the things that our body is telling us to do. But we go to school and every day the teachers tell us to shut up and sit still. They put us on medications if we can't do it well enough, right? We're now being told all of these things about masculinity that are toxic. And granted, some of it's true. Granted, there's a lot of men who just suck at being good men. That's a fact, right? But the rest of us who want to be good men, who are searching for what it takes, for what it means to be a good man, and to live the life that we want, we were never shown how. We didn't have any rituals. We didn't have any initiations. We have very few leaders, no mentors. How many of you watching, who are young men, have a very close relationship with your father? How many of you young men have fathers who taught you more than half of the life skills that you now have? How many of you can name more than 3 men who are at least 20 years older than you and who have had at least one really deep, meaningful, intellectual conversation with you, or a conversation about the meaning of life? How many of you? I'd venture to say not many of you, and that's part of our problem. That's part of our problem. We have all this creative energy, all this masculine energy, and it's locked inside because we put it there and we never let it out. So I'm going to tell you a piece of advice that changed my life. And some people call it bioenergetics. Some people call it acting crazy. Some people call it exercise. But sometimes when you've got that anxiety because you really want to do something, but you're locked up, you just got to move. You just got to get the energy out. You need a release. There's a lot of ways to get that release. My favorite is right here. Screaming as loud as you can while you're driving your car works really well too. I like to do that. If you do it more than 2 or 3 times, your throat will hurt, but your soul will rejoice. So you can try that too. Or you can scream into a pillow. Just, don't scream in a place where people are going to think you're being murdered. To be completely honest with you, that's part of the reason why I'm out here, right? On days when I have a lot to do, when I'm starting to feel a little overwhelmed, I get my lift done as soon as I can. I was up at 4 a.m. today. I'm going to have my workout done before 7, right? I'll be seated in front of my computer working on the business by 8. Just, staying on top of your day, keeping your priorities straight, getting that release when you need it. The mind listens to the body very closely, and the body listens to the mind. Where one tugs, the other will be moved. So you have to pay attention to what your mind is trying to tell you and also pay attention to what your body is trying to tell you. What makes this so difficult for a lot of people is that they think they are their mind. A lot of people they associate too strongly with the mind, and they look at the body like it's just a vessel, right? But it's not. You are your body. Even though it feels like your spirit is living behind your eyeballs, it's not. It's living in your entire body. The only reason you feel that way is because vision is so important, right? And this is where your vision comes from. So we associate with this. But you got to associate with the rest of it, because it's all connected and it's all going to affect everything else. If you neglect your body, if you don't let your body move and do what it needs to do, your brain's going to start wondering what the heck is wrong. So you just have to pay attention to how your body feels and how your mind feels. Take a step back, be an observer of your thoughts, and be an observer of your emotions, right? Thoughts come from the mind, emotions come from the body. Emotions respond to thoughts, and thoughts respond to emotions. It is cyclical in nature, which is why you got to pay attention to both parts. So, it sounds to me like you're just paying too much attention to your thoughts. You're probably associating too strongly with your mind, and you need to just let your body do something for once, because all day long, you're giving your mind the release that it wants. You're giving it constant dopamine by thinking about what you're going to do, the future you're going to have, how great life is going to be, how wonderful it's going to be once you get that project done. All the things that your mind wants to do, you're thinking about it. And your brain loves it. And your body's sitting there like, what about me? I've got stuff to do too. I want to help you, but until you start paying attention to me, I'm going to make you sit here. All right? It's as simple as that, my friend. Give that a try. I hope it helps. If it doesn't, look elsewhere. You could send me an email. Let me know if you have more questions. Follow up with me. I would love to know how things go for you. You can also try therapy or counseling. It is useful for some people. So, that's what I got for you. I appreciate all of you for following along. I appreciate all of you who subscribe. This community is growing. I have a TikTok account as of about a month ago. It is growing astronomically fast. I already have, I think, 5 times as many followers on TikTok than I do subscribers on YouTube. So I will be putting the link to my TikTok in the description. You can follow me there. That is all unique content that you're not going to find here on YouTube and vice versa. So that's what I got. I appreciate all of you. Good luck. Stay strong. Keep your priorities straight. Catch you in the next video. Take care.